Hello and welcome back to World News Today. The US President Barack Obama is meeting nearly 50 African leaders in Washington for talks on investment in Africa. Well, this is the first US-Africa summit and US firms have pledged $14 billion in investments so far. Well, President Obama told the meeting that a new Africa is emerging.
With some of the world's fastest growing economies, a growing middle class, and the youngest and fastest growing population on Earth, Africa will help shape the world as never before. Moreover, Africa's progress is being led by Africans, including leaders represented here today. More governments are embracing economic reforms, attracting record levels of investment, gains in development, increasing agricultural production, and declining rates of infectious diseases are being driven by African plans. African security forces and African peacekeepers are risking their lives to meet regional threats. A new generation of young Africans is making its voice heard. Africa's rise means opportunity for all of us, including the opportunity to transform the relationship between the United States and Africa.
Barack Obama there. Well, joining us from the United States is Vuyo Dunjwa. He is Executive Chairman of the Board at the Sub-Saharan Africa Chamber of Commerce and attended the Washington Summit this week. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. What were your thoughts on this summit? Billions pledged. It's a good move for Africa.
Thank you for having us. It is a phenomenal moment for Africa. I think it is a great moment for US-African relations, especially around economic development and all of the opportunities that are now there for private sector investment to really really start moving towards that environment. I think there are marvelous opportunities for folks. And I think the pledges that have been made this week, I think will go a long way in adding additional development within the space.
Is there a question that America is a little bit late to the table? Because obviously China has shown a lot of interest and done a lot of trade and invested a lot in Africa already.
Yes, I think China has the upper leg, if you will, but I think the American brand is a very strong one. And you cannot underestimate the validity and the authority with which it comes in. So I think at the end of the day, there are still people who are looking for quality. There's still people who are looking for fairly good transactions that both meet a certain financial requirements, but also some sort of moral requirements as well. And I think the US is well poised to compete within that space. So yes, it is a bit late, but unfortunately, it's never too late.
And what about training, investment, and actually giving something back to Africa? What do the countries in the continent gain?
I think you can look at the case of South Africa, for instance. South Africa has done a phenomenal job in terms of driving the kinds of investment and trade deal partnerships. So there are skills transfer programs that are already in place. There are numerous opportunities for people to be able to not only to make money in the transactions, but also to actually leave a legacy behind that, build some level of self-sustainability within those transactions. So there is already a roadmap, a blueprint for how some of those transactions should work. And we have numerous examples where we've been able to see the kinds of mutually beneficial transactions that are occurring between the US, South Africa, and a host of other countries on the African continent. So I don't think it is new territory that is being charted. It is simply that the size of the transactions are increasing.
Vuyo Dunjwa from the Sub-Saharan Africa Chamber of Commerce, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.